Hello, good evening and welcome back for the second time in the space of 2 weeks, you lucky bunch. This is 4-0 Sunday Live, and tonight our panel consists of the fantastic little Reese, 4-0's finest Pepe, and Jakey Boy, my mate from T-Lop, an all-round brilliant chap. We are hoping to be joined by Retro Shirt Sean a little bit later on in the hour too, so very much looking forward to that. Let's start with you, Reese Boy. What a fantastic performance we were treated to at Fratton yesterday. You must be delighted with how Pompey have rekindled that little bit of form that we know they've got in the locker.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously going off of Tuesday's result against Oxford in the last couple of minutes, I think we were going into it hoping there was going to be a real good positive performance. And I think the one thing we've been missing lately is goals in general, killing off teams early as possible. And, you know, Andrew Moon said it quite rightly on commentary that it's been a while since we've gone into the last 10 minutes of the game feeling comfortable and relaxed. And I think that's exactly what happened. It was really nice to watch the last couple of minutes knowing that it was over, other than that fantastic goal.
Peps, we talked about the importance of yesterday outside the ground together on the way in, didn't we? It was nice to see us, as Reece just said there, score a couple of goals at Fratton, which on paper, when you say it like that, it sounds like Pompey haven't been scoring, but we have. It's just the conclusiveness, the completeness, if that's a word, of the Fratton showing was unlike something we've seen for a little while.
Yeah, we've seen Pompey dominate games, but have struggled to score in front of goal. It's been a common theme for weeks, maybe even months. Dominating games, but haven't really been putting games to bed. And yesterday was sort of the first time we went 2-0 up in 16 minutes, and you're thinking, oh my God, we could go and get a few more here. Obviously, the missed penalty could have been 3. And throughout the whole 90 minutes, Pompey did look like scoring, even down to 10 men. We got 2 more goals, and it was good to see Pompey finally put a team to the sword, like they did against Northampton back in December. And yeah, it just looked like a team full of confidence. And that's now, 4 games undefeated, 3 wins in that. So Pompey finally cooking, Tom.
4 games undefeated.
Oh God, keep it going.
Keep it going. Hello, good evening to Stacey. Welcome along. John's here. Hello to Dan. Hello to Slimy. We are going up from ex-Zeb. A lot of confidence and happiness in the chat tonight, which is great to see. Miltos said, good evening with 4 goal emojis. Like to see that. Owen says, Lang and Lane, we are going up. Dill says, hi, Jake, I love you. Hi, Jake, I love you too. Welcome to the stream.
Hello, I'm happy to be here alongside 3 of my very bestest of friends on the South Coast. Stop it. You know, it's it's good. It's good. Obviously, you boys won yesterday. We won yesterday, so happy show all round, I think.
Ryan would like a dance, Reece. I don't know whether that's something you can provide to us, or because we did all miss it yesterday.
Yeah, of course.
There we go. It's on 4-0 Sunday Live for you. It might not have been on the video yesterday, but there it is. Hello to Lorraine. Hello, little Reece. Missed you yesterday. Stephen said, good evening, guys. Fantastic result and performance. Atmosphere was wonderful. Yes, it was. I'm going to click on that one. Hello, good evening to Dan. Welcome along. Ollie's here as well. There was a bit of bouncing around if you top the league, which you haven't seen at Fratton and Peter. We will get on to the red card and everything else in a lot more detail in a moment. Before we do get into all the fallout from Fratton yesterday, loads to chat about. We'll have a reminder of how Pompey made it 7 for the season against Northampton. Good morning, Andrew.
Yeah, good morning, Tom. What a lovely day for a football match.
You cannot say the manager has not been backed.
Play up, Pompey. Let's do this.
And the Blues!
Oh, he's off. I got a horrible sense of deja vu coming on.
Another goal from open play,
When we're positive and when we play with the ball in front of us, things happen, goals come.
The passing's been quality, we're not under pressure at the back, nothing's rushed, we look comfortable.
How Sam Perkis has come to that decision to send Tom McIntyre off. For what was a challenge that won in the ball. That is a terrible decision.
Great ball.
Pompey have actually used a dubious refereeing decision that's gone against them to our advantage. Normally that kills us in a game, a red card.
All we need to do now is just keep on doing what we're doing.
Much more effective on the front foot, and nice to see a Pompey with end products.
15 to go.
Play up, Pompey.
Play up, Pompey. Pompey's first Saturday win at home since the 21st of October, and what great fashion to do it as well. Brilliant response on yesterday's video too. One of the fastest growing Fournilwrittenalloverit episodes in quite a while. So thank you very much indeed for that. You can, of course, rewatch that at any point over the next week if you get bored. Andrew said, hi, got to say a big congrats on the successful transfer window. Shows the club mean business this term. Feels like the Redknapp days. Andy said, glad the wide men were shooting more shots, more goals, confidence, looking high in Lane and Lang. I should say to Andrew as well, we are going to have a dedicated 10, maybe 5 to 10 minutes on transfers later on in tonight's show. Alex Trott has picked Paddy as man of the match, but Lang has to be a close second. Speaking of man of the match, there is a man of the match poll up and running in the live chat down below. Over 250 of you joining us nice and early here on 4 Days Sunday Live. Go and cast your votes. Your options are Conor Ogilvie, Marlon Pack, Paddy Lane and Callum Lang. I think it's going to be quite a tight one tonight. So cast your vote, have your say. We'll review that at about 7:35. Hello to Jeff, who says, hello from the States. When and if, well, when/if Pompey get, well, when, open brackets, if, close brackets, Pompey get promoted, I'll be there cheering them on. How many points do you think it would take us to secure that goal, Jeff? I would say 10 wins from 15, and we might be there all thereabouts. Let's chat Northampton. Reese, how long has it been? And we mentioned it at the top of the show, but just to flesh it out in a little bit more detail. Since we've seen Pompey start a game that brightly, we've been asking for it here on 4-0 Sunday. I've been asking for it on the channel for ages. To get up to 2-0 within 15 minutes says a lot about the way in which the team conducted themselves yesterday.
Yeah, and I think obviously going back to Northampton away, was that probably one of the last times you would say that we were 2-0 up quite early on? I remember rightly as well earlier in the season, it was Barnsley as well away. Obviously that was a lot closer in the end, but yeah, the thing is we have the talent, we have the players that can see out games at an early stage of a match against teams like Northampton, those that obviously are meant to be the other side of the table. And I think it's just so nice to watch Pompey play sometimes because we know they're capable of it, and that's the most important thing. But yeah, it was just the way we came out and dominated it straight away, and there was hardly any chances for Northampton in the whole game in general. Norwich didn't have much to do. There was just confidence reading through the side. At Lane, obviously you've got the poll up for man of the match, but he was my man of the match as well, not just because of his goals, but he was just everywhere. And yeah, you just got to say from 1 to 11, everybody put in a shift and rightly deserved the gap of the scoreline.
Hello to Shania. Pepe's absolutely delighted that you're in the stream with us. Graham said, evening lads, and welcome Jake for the Lincoln boys. So welcome to you two. Welcome along to the stream. Jake, fair to say, from the outside looking in, a performance worthy of promotion contenders from Pompey yesterday.
Yeah, definitely a strong performance. Luckily, Wardy gave it to me to cover on the tee-up this weekend, which meant going into it quite deeply. And I was really impressed, actually, with Portsmouth. And it was the reaction to the red card and everything going against you that seemed to G everybody up. It was great from start to finish. I thought, the first goal really set the tempo for the afternoon. Ogilvie, it's a great ball in from, brilliantly timed there, Tom, by Marlon Pack. I think that's one of the most dangerous balls you can play in football, just between the defenders. You don't want to tap it into their own net, and the goalkeeper doesn't want to get clattered by a massive centre half. And then from there on in, it was relentless Pompey pressure. And another 3 goals, 2 for Paddy. That's 4 against Northampton now. across the season. And Callum Lang, I called him out on Teal-Up and said maybe he's a short-term signing. And to be fair, Tom, in the short term that you've had him, it's proved pretty decent in terms of 2 goals and an assist. So, yeah, looked a good afternoon for Portsmouth. And I, when I checked the results walking out of the Pirelli yesterday, I was grinning from ear to ear, knowing that you'd have a big smile on your face.
Good man. We were feeling the feeling's very mutual, Jakey. Dan said Lang has raised the intensity from the moment he took to the pitch on Tuesday night. Joe said nice to see results going elsewhere. Just shows the other teams are also capable of dropping points. Will make March a massive month. Yes, points on the board, as we always say here on Fournilwrittenalloverit, are better than games in hand. Hello to Bobby as well. Looking forward to welcoming you guys to Fratton Park in a little while. Pompey lad 69 said top class performance. That's what we love to see up the Blues. It was front-footed.
Above that, Pepe is a magnet. I don't know where that's come from.
Yes, I know that, Andrew. That's just going to make his head even bigger. So we'll leave that there. Front-footed, plenty of end product, but also I'd said this to you just before we started on the live, Peps, is that I felt like that was up there for one of the best Fratton atmospheres so far this season at Fratton Park on a Saturday.
Yeah, on a Saturday, it's definitely up there. I think the standout for the season obviously has to be Bolton at home, given the situation. It was first v second on TV under the lights. And the severity of the game, really. But on a Saturday, it was definitely up there. I can't really recall many others. And I said to you before the stream started that it was the atmosphere was a bit flat in the first half. Obviously, when we were 2-0 up, it was a bit quiet. I'm obviously sat near the away fans, and they were giving us a bit of stick, saying this is a library. But then the red card sort of changed it, really. And that's where we saw the best of Fratton Park, really. And why Fratton Park is so famous, got behind the team, and next thing you know, Pompey are 3-0 up, 4-0 up, and the crowd are going, we are going up. So, yeah, definitely up there with one of the best home atmospheres of the season on a Saturday.
I'm delighted to say Retro Shirt Sean joins us live. He's made a proper cracking effort. He's not late, ladies and gentlemen. He wasn't going to be originally scheduled in, and I've managed to add him in as a last-minute recruit. So thank you very much for finding the time for us, sir. You joined us at a great time. We're just about to talk about Paddy's second.
Oh, yeah. The match yesterday was amazing. Absolutely loved it. And the pass, the sublime pass, and then how he gets this through the past the defender and through the keeper. It was just lovely to watch.
Do you think he might have not quite connected with it the way he wanted it to? The keeper gets the hands of it, but there's just too much power on it, isn't there, Retro, for it to get past him?
Exactly. I think maybe the defender also obscured the keeper's view, I think, as well. But, we'll take it. It was a nice shot, got it on target, made the keeper work, and it's in the back of the net. Great goal.
Hello, welcome to Carl, who says, good evening, Tom. Great atmosphere yesterday. All new signings look great. We still have Yankee to come back, absolutely. Pompey and Nick Mush said, players coming back from injury. Tino through, exact, not too far away. Yankee back in the squad, looking very strong at this moment in time. Noz Herb 1 said, Fratton End asking all the stands to give him a song as my favourite moment. Me and Peps will remember that fondly. And Joseph said, Bet Retro is happy to see Sean Raggett back in the team. Now McIntyre is injured. We might go to him shortly on that. So we've chatted about the second. I think the second is excellent. The vision of the pass, Reece, from Marlon to play that ball in the first place. We know what a range of ball playing ability he has, but that's probably up there with one of his best spreads of the season. But as Retro's outlined there, he still gives Paddy an awful lot to do.
Yeah, but we know exactly what obviously Pat's like when it comes to passing. That's why he's in the squad. That's why he's a leader, because we know from the experience from higher divisions. And yeah, you're right. Paddy did have a lot still to do there. He still had to obviously get the accuracy correct. He had to take on his man on the outside. But we know what Paddy Lane's like. When he's on form, he's really on form. And he can be a match winner.
We, of course, need to talk about the penalty miss as well. Pepe, of the 4-0 panel tonight, you were the closest to this incident. First and foremost, you think it is actually a penalty?
Yeah, no, I was just next to that, really. I thought it was a penalty. With the history of this ref, I didn't think he was going to give it at one point, but he took a couple of seconds to process it and obviously pointed to the spot. There was definite contact there, without a doubt, and he was Pert Harris was holding it up. Sorry, and it was definite penalty. But again, Bishop missed penalty in front of the Milton end. Questions got to be asked there. Now that's 3 penalties missed at home in front of the Milton end on the stroke of half time as well. So questions got to be asked there. Is it a dip in form in front of goal, penalty-wise? Would I take him off penalties? No. Obviously, could be a shout for someone else like Callum Lang, but he's a proven goal scorer. You don't take your top scorer off penalties, surely. I know it's a dip in form in front of goals from penalties, but he's got 15 goals, Tom.
He got the winner against Port Vale, though, didn't he?
Yeah. So I said this yesterday. It looks good when you slot home a cool penalty like that, but it looks horrendous when the keeper goes the same way. So I feel bad for him, but I'd still trust him in front of goal.
Prior to this little run of form, he's been a really bankable goal scorer from the penalty spot. And I remember heading into Pompey have actually, and Jake will back me up on this, Pompey have had the most penalties of any other League One side this season. And heading into this before the one he missed against, I want to say Leyton Orient, he'd gone on a consistent run. I remember a couple of seasons ago at Portman Road, right? He scored both of them. All that pressure, all the atmosphere, shrouded by all that, and got us right back into the game. Retro, our audience tonight, and nearly 300 people across both YouTube and Facebook, people on the watch back as well, will know that we aren't fierce critics of Colby here on Fournilwrittenalloverit. We aren't fierce critics of any of our players for that matter. All we do is stand behind our commitment of saying it how it is, and that was a poor penalty.
You're being harsh. Not every penalty is going to be top draw. There's going to be a range. And if he's going to miss one, I'd rather he missed it there when we're already winning and the game is going in our favour. I'd rather he scored the ones when we really need them. So, I back Pepe. I think, I'd say he wouldn't change it. He's human. His nerve is generally really good when the pressure's on. So, yeah, we'll take that one, roll with it. He's still my man for the penalty.
Jake, as a League One kind of point of view, looking from the outside in, there's very few better than Colby Bishop. And this internalised, not quite vociferous, but this concern about his output at the minute is only a Pompey-wide thing. Everywhere else, he's absolutely adored, isn't he, as a goal scorer?
Well, yeah, he's adored. I suppose he's adored, but when you're on the outside, you hate him because he's always scoring against you. I think Colby is one of the best in the business. I think I said to you earlier, Tom, the second goal comes from Colby Bishop. The fact that he's able to hold the ball up and lay it into Marlon Pack, who goes and plays it out to Paddy Lane. In terms of the whole package as a centre forward that you want, hold up play, scoring goals, natural finishing ability, I don't think there are many that have that whole entire game. Like I say, Dion Charles is maybe a close second in terms of he doesn't quite have the hold up play. Adebajeho at Bolton as well doesn't quite have all the attributes. Yeah, I think it's quite like a soap opera, to be honest. You lot hating on Colby Bishop, it's quite entertaining. But I think if you played for a smaller club, maybe like a Lincoln or like a Bristol Rovers or something like that, I don't think he'd be getting anywhere near as much stick as he does. But yeah, one of the best in the business, that's for sure.
Adam said, I don't know what's better, Tom's beard or 3 points. I can tell you, Adam, that's very kind of you, but the 3 points are certainly better. Let's crack on with the show, shall we? We could have been 3, but it stayed at 2, as we've just said there. And after the break, a red card that I'm pretty sure we'll all be in agreement here on the panel is an absolute mystery of a decision. Reece, I'll come to you first. Not reckless, no malice in it, and quite speculative of me to say, I suppose, but there's a very good chance that one's going to be appealed and overturned.
Yeah, and I know we had a quick chat about it just before coming onto stream, and actually I completely understand in regards to what Jake said, which I know you're obviously ask him in a minute, but no, definitely not a red card. He won the ball, and I can understand the force behind it may have obviously warranted a yellow at least, but definitely 100% not a red card, because you can clearly see he's got the ball, and there's been other replays in slow motion, different angles, everything to indicate that it's definitely not a red card to meet that criteria. So yeah, the refs had a shocker, and so's the lino.
Retro, what's your take on it?
I'm telling you, Reece, I think the only reason that it was given was probably due to the reaction of the player who went down, and the bench and everyone around. It was more theatrics. Hopefully we'll see sense. It will get rescinded, but the downside is you don't often see the players who actually cause the problem getting punished for it.
I'm going to stop him from giggling and start him talking. Pep's opinions on the McIntyre red, and do you, I mean, you've worked in the business before of kind of, do they get rescinded, do they not? You know just as well as me that by and large they don't from EFL referees, because they tend to back their own, and there's an extent to which you agree or disagree at home with how that should be applied, and whether they should actually stand up and say, as a governing body of football, look, that's a wrong decision. They're probably going to back the ref, but it's worth an appeal anyway.
Oh no, 100%. I think if this is worthy of any appeal, it's this one. If you go for an appeal, you have to go for this one. It's you just have to look at where the ball ended up after the tackle. Ended up 30 yards up the pitch, and he clearly won the ball. And there's a replay from the gantry just above the dugouts. The Northampton coach is screaming down the line. You can just see him appearing screen, and that could they should be professionals. It shouldn't be affected by what's said in the dugouts and by the coaches. But you can sort of see an influence, maybe him influencing the liner and his decision. Because I'm on the other side of the pitch, and it's not a red card like at all. He's won the ball. It's strong. It's very strong, and if you're given fouls for that, I think the game's gone really, because VAR is overturning that completely, and he's not given that. And Pompey will obviously, they should appeal it, because I think the majority of fans on Twitter who've got a level head and have glasses have realised that's not a red card, and they've sort of been unanimous really in saying it's not a red card. So, but I don't know. It's the EFL.
Yeah,
Tom.
there's
They could appeal it and say, no, we're going to stick with the decision, but I don't know anymore. I don't know, because that's never a red card, Tom, is it?
There's been quite a Twitter-wide condemnation of the fact that this decision's been given, and it's, as I said earlier, it's not reckless. There's no malice in it. Yes, it's a strong and robust challenge, and there's a comment from Ryan that says Marlon Pack did mention how robust the challenge was. I just feel like in that kind of situation, when the ref hasn't given it and the lino draws his attention to it, the lino has to be an absolutely no doubt whatsoever that that's a sending off and he's endangers his opponent, serious foul play, right? Those are the kind of criteria that we're looking for. And I just don't think it fits any of those. If it's a professional foul, it's a 1-game ban. If it's serious foul play, it's 3. Hoping, obviously, from a Pompey point of view, that it ends up being none. At 2-0 down retro, Pompey could quite easily have crumbled given we were down to 10. There's a massive goal that follows quite shortly after. The spirit from the players to go, you know what, we're having this. And the intricacy of play between the breakdown of the Northampton free kick, up to Lang, Paddy's on his bike, firing up towards the Fratton end, and he does the rest.
Yeah, it's just that you can see his arms are pumping, trying to get ahead there, and it's just the effort he's there to get on the end of that ball, put himself in position, and he just strikes it lovely. You're right, you know, the penalty could have, the lads' heads could have gone down, but you know, we didn't mention as well before we talked about the penalty about the ref. Actually, I think that was his only shocking decision the whole game. He actually had a good game, and you know, the lads, like you said, then picked it up and you know took it on to the next step. But towards the end of the game, then the legs get a bit leggy and you see them come back.
Jake, that's really Paddy Lane's bread and butter, isn't it? Get ahead of steam, get the ball in front of him and shoot with accuracy. He's done it plenty of times this season already. Barnsley away springs to mind when he hits one into the top bins. There's a very similar goal here yesterday.
Yeah, and he did it for Fleetwood before signing for Pompey a year ago, and he's continuing to have that. He's one of those players that's very good when the ball's at his feet, and when he's running away from defenders, it's not very likely that the opposition are going to be able to catch him. Also, I think his low centre of gravity tends to help him in situations like that. He can shift the ball very easily from one side to the other, and clearly when he's running through on goal at the minute, he's very dangerous. He's got ice in his veins, and yeah, he just absolutely annihilates that ball into the back of the front end, running net.
We were saying before we came live on here, Pep. So with Paddy Lane, just the 4 goals for him against Northampton this season. What a campaign he's having.
Yeah, 9 goals all season. And Pompey last season, we were crying out for someone to help Colby Bishop in front of goal. And Paddy Lane sort of answered that SOS, really. He's been Pompey's second in command. He's looked the most threatening behind Colby Bishop, obviously. And I'd say the wingers, Kamara and Lane, before Lang came in, were dead set to start every game, really. Gavin White's been given his chance. He didn't really take that. Anthony Scully's been out injured and hasn't really come back since. And Paddy Lane, now he's on the left. He was on the right yesterday. It just sort of looks so strong. And the second half of last season, it was about growing into that position and growing into Portsmouth, obviously the big move down from Fleetwood. And it was almost preparing him for this season. And he's come in all guns firing, 4 goals against Northampton this season. And he just looks so confident on the ball. He looks a threat. I saw a tweet earlier. He's like prime Ronan Curtis from 18-19. He just runs with the ball. There's pace, there's athleticism, and it's just a joy to watch, really. And he's just full of confidence at the moment, and he's dead set to start every game. I know there was a few people saying yesterday, why has Kamara been dropped instead of Lane? But he answered that straight away yesterday, 2 goals, and he's just full of confidence, Tom, and I love watching him play.
Nappers is in the chat. Make sure you head on over to his channel in just over half an hour's time to see the wonderful Jake and him dissect all of the League One weekend. Reece, 9 goals, 4 assists. Pepe's mentioned it there. It's on everyone's screens from 23 starts for Paddy Lane this season. And as he said there, just as lethal from the right position as he has been for the last few weeks on the left-hand side.
Yeah, and obviously it's not just obviously performances against Northampton that he stood out with. I remember Wigan away, he was fantastic then. Barnsley, we all remember his goal in the top bins, and obviously we've had the pleasure of meeting him in person as well, so we know his aims for obviously the near future as well as long-term future is to obviously get more minutes and nail down a spot in the national team. And the only way he's going to do that is by performing for Pompey and obviously getting us out of this division. He's got much better chances of doing that. And yeah, you're right. In regards to who we thought was going to start and who should be rested, i.e. Kamara, etc., it really proved yesterday that Lane is definitely one of the first names on the team sheet, and rightly so.
And the fourth to top it all off, Jake, talk about an impact player from an incoming man who you reckon's a short-term signing, Mr. Callum Lang.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I'll be challenged on that point, absolutely. But yeah, it's a great finish. Callum Lang, I think that prime Callum Lang season was at 21-22 when Wigan won the league. He was one of the best performers in the entire division. He's done it at this level before, and he's coming to this Portsmouth side. I think it tells you more about the environment that Massinio and the backroom staff have created, that a player low on confidence like Callum Lang coming out of that Wigan side can come in straight away, and make such an impact. It tells you so much more, not only about the player, but also about, like I say, the environment and what Portsmouth can provide players, as well as on the pitch, but as an overall package, support outside as well. So fair play, you've got another signing right, it seems, at the moment. But yeah, I do have questions over the long termness of that.
Is he better than Rico Hackett, Jake?
No, mate.
No.
You look at Rico Hackett's goal yesterday. You tell me Callum Lang's better than him. You tell me.
He is. It was average.
Simple as that.
I don't know where you were on Tuesday night, Jake, but one of the best goals I've ever seen live in a Pompey shirt was from Callum Lang on Tuesday. So, but anyway, we'll agree to disagree. We're grateful for Jakey's external non-blue tinted glasses output. Retro, one of the working titles for this 4-0 Sunday Live before Reece messaged me yesterday and said, call it right lane, right time, which I absolutely love, was no langing around. And that is exactly what he's done.
Oh, I'm just delighted with the impact. I think he was what we were missing, the ingredient. Bishop of the first half of the season stood up, put the goals in for us, but there weren't a lot coming in from everywhere else. He was shouldering the burden, and Lang now he knows where the goal is, and with the hold-up play and the other bits that Bishop can do and bring him in, I think it's a lovely pairing. And I like it, and I like him there out on the right. I like Lane on the left. I like the fact that Kamara on the bench. What a great player to have, even if not ours, but on loan, on the bench when we need him. The squad just looks so strong, so balanced. It's exciting. But Lang, he's a legend now already, I think.
And it just got such potential to kick on and really grab these last 15 games by the scruff of the neck of it. And Pepe, there's something that I mentioned to, and I'm not going to spoil who I filmed a video with for next week because it's all very exciting and I want to keep it as a secret. But we had a conversation about Pompey's transfers incoming this season, this January, sorry. And to have a player of the profile of Callum Lang to come in, grab the game by the scruff of the neck and make an impact and turn the game around in Pompey's favour, as he did on Tuesday. I know he's not turning the game around here, but he's adding to a win that was already consolidated for Pompey. That's not a profile of player we've had for a very long time, someone to make an impact straight away. And it does scream of, but you mentioned Paddy Lane's Ronan Curtis similarities, but Callum Lang as well.
I agreed with someone on Twitter earlier today that it sort of reminds, Callum Lang sort of reminds them of that Aidan O'Brien spell he had at the start of, or the second half of 2 years ago, is it now? Just adds a bit of creativity, a bit of flair into Pompey's attacking line. And we've been sort of screaming out over the December, early January period for creativity, really. And he's just come in and made an instant impact, which I was quite worried about when he came in, was how quickly can he get started. Obviously, his record over the last season and a half hasn't been amazing. His record, what was it, 21-22 when Wigan got promoted, 15 goals that season. And the questions were sort of really, can he hit the ground running? Can he get that form going and help Pompey's promotion push? And the answer is yes. Yes, he has 2 goals in 2 games and put the game to bed yesterday with an assist and a goal. Put us in the lead in the 83rd minute on Tuesday. And he's just looked so attacking and a threat every time he goes forward, really. And another thing I love about him, he's got a bit of passion about him, which, you know me, Tom, I love a bit of passion, and he just loves it. So, yeah, no, long may it continue, really. Do I think he'll be able to keep it up? Yes, I hope so. So, yeah, it's just about how you gel him into this squad now and rotate Kamara, because he's obviously a threat as well. He's been playing really well. I got slated on our 4-0 group chat yesterday when I was put Lang in front of Kamara, and then Lang started yesterday. So, yeah, what do I know? So, yeah, no, it'd be interesting to see how Messino utilises him. I think he's a threat across the front 3, really, behind Bishop. So, yeah, it's an exciting prospect, and I'm so glad he's now in a Pompey shirt.
As Simon said, Messino's done an amazing job. Have to keep reminding myself that this is his first manager's job. We've gone from talking about the 2 wide men from yesterday. Let's talk about the whole team and the general, the commander in the middle there, Reece, Marlon Pack, who some say slows the game down. Well, he certainly didn't yesterday, did he?
No, and obviously I alluded to it earlier with the goal for Lane, with the pass itself. This is the sort of thing that people forget with players like Marlon Pack. He can dictate where the ball goes. He can obviously make sure that the leadership that he obviously carries with the armband is actually put out onto the pitch, and you can see with moments of play when play stopped, new players coming on and everything, he's making sure everybody's in their position. I can understand a little bit, because although I understand Pack had a good game yesterday, I must admit there was moments where I thought he lost the ball too easily, especially playing out from the back. It was very similar to Oxford in respect of balls played from the back to Pack and then going back, which was my saying obviously on Tuesday, backpack. And he lost it a few times there, and I think he was under pressure a lot more. And when he's in them positions, you don't like to see it. But other than that, he's a general. You know what you're going to get with Marlon in regards to 100% commitment to the cause. But yeah, I think he had a solid game, and you just have to think about, if he wasn't in the side, how much worse we would be off.
Logan, I'm afraid I'm not allowed to share anything on that one. Just hope that he'd be back really soon. We'll get to the thanks, mate. We'll get to the I thought I dealt with that one really well there, and then I heard that in my right ear. We'll get to the wider point on the player ratings, and actually, Retro, someone who I think might go under the radar given the excellence yesterday of all the Pompey players was Will Norris, who, if those who would have seen the game, those at Fratton Park, would have seen he did pull off 1 or 2 really spectacular saves that kept that Pompey goal difference in terms of the game 2-4 and not a 4-2, 4-3, because there were some difficult stops in there for him.
But yeah, he did a couple of 1-on-1s. I remember a low down to the right hand side as well, and he did. He swept up a lot at the back, and we haven't had to call on him a lot this season. And we've had a couple of close games, but I think he stood out. He was one that stood out yesterday for me. It was just nice to see some of those 1-on-1s that he actually kept in the game. We could have folded. It could be a lot more squeakier towards the end as the legs got tired, but he did play his part.
Other than the obvious low rating for McIntyre, given the red there, Jakey, that's quite a strong Pompey showing in terms of individual performances, making for a really strong team showing.
Yeah, and when you're in 4-1, you sort of expect these sort of ratings for your key players by the looks of it. And one player that perhaps didn't get the rave reviews on the ratings, but has done on the forums, was Tommy Lowry. I mean, you boys would have been there yesterday. He's a really good defensive midfielder, really tenacious. And Kate, when he came in from Crewe, I really liked him when he was there. And I think he actually got unveiled to the Pompey fans when we played you at Fratton Park. I think he walked onto the grass slightly before we drew 0-0, I want to say, last year. But
probably,
yeah, I think his performance I think his performance yesterday was quite good in terms of completed passes and progressing the ball forward. Marlon Pack will get all the plaudits for the assists, but I think him playing in that role equally is just as impressive.
Josh has said Lang is an absolute beast, was consistently running the whole game. Lane, likewise. A great content as usual. Let's play at Pompey. Thank you very much indeed for that. Josh, Reece, are there any on there that you disagree with, agree with? Anything that's not out of place or isn't to your liking?
Just two really stands out for me, and that's Shaughnessy and Piet Harris. I don't know why Piet Harris is so low, purely because obviously the involvement he had, i.e. the penalty. I know it wasn't converted, but to obviously get the penalty itself and the play itself going forward in the first half was a lot through him as well. The passing from Pack to him and then to Lang, etc. I don't think he deserves such a low rating compared to the others around him. I know Lane's got a high score rating because of his goals and contribution, a bit like Lang. Bishops can be argued, of course. But yeah, out of all of them, I would definitely say Piet Harris is quite low considering the contribution and the way he actually played. There wasn't anything negative he necessarily brought to the game.
Time to choose the man of the match. Retro, out of all of that, and we've had over 200 votes in the live chat down below. We know that they have the final say at home, but we always go around the panel. Who are you giving it to, sir?
Ooh.
It's tough, isn't it? It's tough. Would you like a reminder of the options?
I think I'm gonna give it to Lang because he's come in and it's a second game, second goal, and he knows what the goal is, and his contribution. I can't remember the last time though we've had three players come in and all make a hit. I think I'm going back to that season, The Great Escape with Mendes. It just, three signings come in and they've all hit the ball at the ground running, and it's just nice to see. But I'd give it to Lang. Lane scored some great goals, but I think Lang's effort.
I think I said it yesterday. Marlon Pack, just the way he controlled midfield yesterday was unbelievable, pinging balls left, right, and centre, just holding up the play, and obviously 2 assists as well. Obviously, yes, the goals for Lane and Lang were good, but I think just individually, Marlon Pack was excellent yesterday. So I'm going to go with him. But another shout out, I don't think it was on the list, was Tom Lowry. I thought he was excellent as well yesterday alongside Marlon Pack. They both of them utilised each other well, passing balls to each other. But I think man of the match goes to Marlon Pack.
We should also say, Reece, that Lang, Lane and Ogilvie were try that again. We're live on Fournilwrittenalloverit Sunday Live. That's the bit I'd normally cut out when we're talking after the game. With that in mind, Lane, Lang and Ogilvie, the names I'm looking for, they're all included in the League One Team of the Week as well, which very rarely happens.
Yeah, and it's just so nice to see Ogilvie back playing just in general, but the confidence that he's got right now, it clearly shows what we were missing. I know Sparks did very well when he did come into the side for most of the season, and it was even more gutting that Ogilvie got over his first injury and then got injured straight away at Cambridge, didn't he? And then he had more time off. So he's not had a lot of luck, but the goal would give him so much more confidence than obviously what he's been going through lately. But yeah, I think Lane, man of the match for me. I was quite surprised Retro didn't say Raggett for man of the match because he loved him so much. But yeah, also what Pepe said about Lowry, he goes unnoticed sometimes purely because you've got the figure is that's Marlon Pack in the team. But yeah, I must admit, Lane, 2 goals and a real strong man of the match performance.
So we've had, what was that? Was that Lane or Lang from Retro? It was Lang from Retro.
Lang for me.
It was Pack from Pepe. Reece?
Lane. Paddy Lane.
Jakey boy, what are you going to go for?
Rico Hackett, mate. No, Paddy Lane. Paddy Lane, by the looks of it, 2 goals. Star boy.
Do you think Rico Hackett's better than Paddy Lane?
No, mate. No, I don't.
That's all right. Just making sure we're being real here. That's all.
Not yet.
Not yet. You crack me up. So as you can see, it's a split opinion on the 4-0 Sunday Live panel this evening, which never normally happens. Good to see. It's a pretty split opinion in the live chat down below. There is a majority shareholder. Conor Ogilvie received 8% of the over 200 votes this evening, followed by Callum Lang on 17%, Marlon Pack with 19% of the vote, which means out in front with 56% of your vote share here on 4-0 Sunday Live tonight is Mr. Paddy Lane, and I think deservingly so. There are well over 300 of you who join us. There are 20 minutes to go here on tonight's 4-0 Sunday Live. Thank you all so much indeed for being with us. We're going to take a little bit of a broader look at things and the state of play for Pompey now. We're also going to have a brief chat about the incoming transfers, the impact that they've made. Retro alluded to it there. Sadly, we are going to lose Jakey Boy in a couple of minutes, which will be music to some people's ears and other people will be gutted. So with that in mind, let's waste no time at all and go to our points per game on here. Jakey boy, what do you make of what we've got flashed up on the screen?
Yeah, well, it indicates that you guys have had a pretty decent season by all accounts. But you were, by the looks of it, sort of game week 18, 19, 20, you were so far in front of that forecasted automatic promotion line, and the recent run over Christmas and the couple of draws and the defeat at Cheltenham and things like that have seen you get a lot closer to that line where you pretty much are now. It's going to be tough because, like you said earlier at the top of the show, Tom, you're probably going to have to get 10 wins out of 15. And to do that, you have to be an exceptional side. And Portsmouth so far this season have shown to everybody in this league that they are an exceptional side. So you definitely can't put that sort of run past them. But, if you keep going the way you go in 2 points a game, you're giving yourself the best possible chance to finish in one of those two automatic spots. I don't think you guys will care which one it is you get, first or second. I know you maybe want the title, but second place goes up just as well. And actually, you look at Ipswich last year; they came second, and look what they're doing now. So, yeah, very, very impressed with what you boys are doing so far this year.
Reece, no real concern, first or second for you. A little bit of concern as how close to Pompey are getting to that blue line, given how far north of it we were heading at sort of 20-22 games in.
Yeah, I think obviously when you look at the table in general and you look at how many times we've lost this season, bearing in mind, of course, Bolton and things have games in hand over us, it's been a real consistent season. And I think a lot of fans forget that as well. They feel the inconsistency over a small period of time when we did lose on a couple of bounce or a couple of draws, that it was all doom and gloom and everybody comparing it to previous seasons when we've been in an automatic position before. I think going off of that, obviously, you can clearly see the way that the team's going, and 15 games to go, all cup finals. I know it's a well-known saying, but yeah, I'm really, really confident. But yes, I don't care if it's first or second, as long as we get out of this bloody division.
Peps, it's dangerous to be flashing graphics up on this screen, and you'll know if you've been with us for the whole season that we've kind of worked our way through this Sunday Live graphic. It's pulled out, and that line's getting longer and longer. But it's staying consistently there of where we need to be.
Yeah, definitely. I think when we went on that sticky patch after Christmas, over that Christmas period, and then just after Christmas, obviously the loss at Cheltenham, the loss against Leyton Orient, I'd always think Pompey would come back. I think we've said this throughout the season, was this side is different. Okay, they lost 3-0 to Leyton Orient. Okay, they lost to Cheltenham, but they've come back with wins, and that's the most important thing. And I was always confident that this team had something about them, and after that Leyton Orient loss, it's like I said earlier, 3 wins out of the last 4, 10 points from 12, and we're finally picking up key wins that can sort of. I do think we'll be up there. I like I said, like Reece said, I will take a top 2. I don't care if Bolton overtake us and we finish 1 point ahead of whoever's in third. I will take a top 2 finish, and we just need to keep winning. And I think after that Leyton Orient loss, and now with the additions in the squads, I think we've got every right to be up in that top 2.
Retro Pepe's mentioning it there. This graph on the screen is indicative of the response to when things haven't gone our way this season, the quality that actually might just win us the promotion. You think about every setback so far, and I mentioned this, Jake will be thinking I'm having deja vu here, but these were my exact words on T-Lop earlier on today, was that be it an injury to Paul Robertson, whatever it is, getting turned over at home by your Leyton Orients or your Blackpools, that's always been followed by a really strong run of results. And it takes that steel and strength for that kind of thing to spur you on and make you respond better. And that's probably what we can say that we love the most about Pompey at the minute.
Yeah, the team has character. It can dig in, and Mourinho has been demanding more of his players, and they've been responding. And that's a positive sign. And I look at the depth previously, and, I look at the squad now, it is so much stronger than it was at game 18, game 19. And it's like I say, points are going to be on the board, and our points are there at the minute. Yes, Bolton's got a couple of games in hand, but we're churning out the results now, and the team is strong, and the squad's strong. And Bishop was shouldering the goals. We have more goals in the side now. My little spreadsheet for goals that we got to get, I'm happy with it. I'm liking Lang's contribution. I'm liking the Paddy Lane coming in. Paxton could do with a couple more, I think, and and now we've got Lowry there as well. Second game in, he's usually waiting with a few. I'm happy. 15 games, bring it.
Don't underestimate Owen Moxon's contribution in terms of goals that could come into this side as well. That's something that's incredibly important. Jake, it's coming up to 10 to 7. So it's been an absolute pleasure to have you with us here on 4-0 Sunday Live tonight. I absolutely love it when you come on. I appreciate all the various different bits and pieces that you bring to the panel, and I appreciate what you brought to us tonight. Briefly, normally I say at this point when we have not a guest on, but one of the colleagues of YouTube tell us where you can find your stuff, but you're probably just going to direct us all to T-Lop, aren't you?
Wow. As if that awful acting video that we did was not enough of a dig.
Sorry.
You decide that. No, mate. Yeah, just obviously if you get bored of this, you can come over. And when you inevitably overrun, Tom, if you boys want to come over and
we won't overrun. We're going to be tight tonight. Don't you worry.
Proper League One content. Me and Napper's are live in about 15 minutes or so, talking about the division in general. But yeah, T-Lop, come and join us on T-Lop. I'm hoping there's quite a few T-Loppers in the chat tonight. But yes, we've got an episode out at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning if Tom does his job correctly,
which he absolutely will. He didn't last week, but he absolutely will. I don't know if the Patreon's out yet either. Can I just grab a quick score prediction for Pompey Carlisle off you before you go as well?
I don't know what I said earlier. I think I said Portsmouth. I think I said Carlisle 1, Portsmouth 3, didn't I? Just have a feeling Owen Moxon's going to go back to Brunton Park and get one over on him. Just got a feeling.
Oh, we'd love a bit of that. We'd love a bit of that. Jakey boy, it's been a pleasure. We're going to chat transfers, go and join Jakey and Nappers at 8 o'clock this evening. See you later, mate.
Hello, boys.
That's Jakey boy from that League One podcast. And if he decides to get his finger out of his proverbial, he might make some content on his own channel as well. These four, plus Matt Macy Reese, were the January arrivals for Pompey. And I described it as aggressive in all the various different places that we've spoken about this on our transfer deadline day show. I've described it as aggressive to many people, but that's exactly what it is, isn't it? It's been really strong. Adding Owen Moxon in the mix to the likes of Pitt Harris, Lang and Macy, that surely allies any worries of anyone that were concerned about that league position slip up.
Yeah, and obviously following the conclusion of the window, I'm really pleased that majority of the 5 signings either have experience or leadership in the past. You look at Callum Lang being vice captain, obviously plenty of appearances in the Championship as well. Moxon, playoff winner with Carlisle at Wembley. You've obviously got McIntyre that's played in the Championship as well, and Pitt Harris that's been in Brentford's squad for most of the season and played over 40 games for Forest Green last year. And we all know what Matt Macy's like. So I don't think any Pompey fan can argue about the recruitment and the players that come in. They fill positions that we needed. I know the argument is if it wasn't for Morel's injury, would it have been fast-tracked Moxon's deal? But I feel like we were going to get him in anyway. It's just a coincidence that we managed to get him obviously in time for the game against Northampton. And yeah, I'm really, really pleased. There's lots of obviously confidence going into the last end of the season. You've got players of quality, and we've already seen most of it so far in just a couple of days.
Retro, we had the word on the street from recruitment team, Andy Cullen, ownership was that we would aim to come out of January stronger than we went in. And you have to say, and I tweeted about this last week, that Pompey have delivered on that pledge and promise.
Tried and tested, it shows they're backing the manager, the owners are backing, everyone's going all in for this, and we are stronger. And I like the fact that we're getting a lot of these, that we actually own them. That's the other thing. We're now building the stadium sorted. We're building the squad. It's getting stronger. They're the right ages, the right experience, tried and tested. That you look at our squad now, and you look at the first 11. They're Championship players. They're ready, and we're looking at going up and probably establishing ourselves, from now. You think about another window in the summer, it could be good. So all the little pieces are now in the right place. It's just those 15 games. How quickly can we get the points we need?
Dan said to me on numerous occasions, Pepe, that this is a window that suggests that it's a bit of a pre-window to a potential move up to the Championship, and why not do a little bit of business that you think is going to be fit for the future and fit for a Championship season. Hopefully that's the first time back for us. That's not only a season in the Championship, but a season where we stay in the Championship as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there were a lot of questions going into the window was, okay, we're top of the league. Can we not have a repeat of the 18-19 January window when we brought in the likes of Viv Solomon Otterbourne, Bryn Morris, James Vaughan, all those type of players?
Absolute
and
class.
we obviously I think I think we're obviously in a much stronger position now. I think the signings that we've brought in, like you mentioned, are championship quality, and they're ready. If we are to get promoted, you look at Tom McIntyre, all but 9 of his appearances for Reading have come in the Championship. Callum Lang played in the Championship, can score goals in League One. Owen Moxon, one for the future, promising. Pert Harris, a baller. So, but I think the biggest asset we've got in this club at the moment is Rich Hughes. I don't think anything, none of this would have happened if Rich Hughes wasn't here. I think a lot of Pompey fans can agree on that. The last 3 windows, we've brought in trusted League One players that can fit the model, can fit the structure, and we're just in such a better position with him here. Like, you look at that window before he came in, there wasn't really many standout signings, and then he's come in, completely ripped up the script, changed the structure from top to bottom. I've seen it firsthand at the training grounds. The training ground's completely different. There's structures in the medical staff, in the playing squad, the coaching staff. He sorted it from top to bottom, and I think Morel said it. Joe Rafferty said it as well. Players, the training grounds and the facilities are ready for the Championship. We've now just got to deliver. The owners this January they've put in money. That's clear with Owen Moxham, Callum Lang. They're putting in money. Now it's just about delivering on the pitch, and all the signs are pointing for promotion to the Championship, Tom.
Unconfirmed, obviously, and wouldn't like to speculate on 4-0 Sunday Live, but I'm going to anyway. I reckon it's probably about 700 grand that has been spent in January, which is pretty strong. Widespread approval of Pepe's words there. Paul said before the transfer window, we looked a bit pedestrian and predictable. I can absolutely get on board with that, Paul. He said the players recruited in January to vary tempo and vary approach play, a very good window. Ryan said, I wonder whether we were eyeing the new boys during last summer. It's a very good question. Matt says, strong window, Tom, but can only really assess at the end of the season. Decent start. Lucas said, we've not only improved for this season, but set up a decent core for the Championship. Dan's mentioned how we have so many players who are now comfortable in possession. Shania said, Pepe forever. I think Pepe is going to be booking a room after the show, Shania. Ryan said, a massive window for us, not just this season, but going forward. Our squad is something else now. Simon said, great buying, great squad, great fans. We are going up, which is exactly what we want to hear. And also, Retro Pepe's talking about it there, but it's surface level. You see the signings come in, you see the pedigree of the players. I think maybe take Owen Moxon as an example. That is not a addition that gets made to Pompey's squad without Richard Hughes. That is a Richard Hughes signing that is only possible with someone like him.
Yeah. I think he obviously did it at Forest Green. He knows the game inside. He knows the players at that level. He's obviously got good contacts. Whatever he's doing, it's paying dividends. I'd love to be sitting in a room with him and Mazinho, listen to the conversation about what he needs and what he's getting. It would be lovely just to see that. But it's working and it's exciting. And if every window's like this, we're on for a good ride, and it's been a while.
Well, it's been a while since I've had such positivity from Retro there as well. So there's obviously something's going to plan, and something that we probably haven't quite had time to speak about tonight. But the fact that all 4 goals come without any kind of involvement from Bishop, other than for the penalty spot as well, which will be absolutely music to your ears. 5 minutes to go here on 4-0 Sunday Live. Get any remaining questions in the live chat and get ready to cast your score predictions for our trip to Carlisle, which is an absolute mammoth journey. We are so excited to bring you it here on Fournilwrittenalloverit next weekend. It's going to be a big one. Long way to go up, Reese. A lot of travelling. I spoke to my dad about this earlier on. He said to me, that's just another overnight trip. But actually, when you're on the run you are, when you've had the additions you've had, when everyone's feeling great and very confident, yes, that can work in your favour. But it is a long old trip. It is a tough place to go. They're fighting for it. They're 10 points adrift, having played the most games out of any other side in the bottom 5 of this division. It is not a walkover.
No, I've been to Carlisle twice before, and I know exactly how far away it is. And both times I went, I believe we conceded in the last minute or the last kick of the game, which is, I'm really hoping it's not going to be like that next Saturday, of course. But yeah, you're right. In terms of distance, not the same at all, of course. But you look at teams like Cheltenham and that we've gone to, thinking that we are going to get all 3 points. I know, obviously, different scenario due to obviously performance and momentum and confidence, etc. Going into the Cheltenham game was a little bit different. But yeah. But then again, we're in this position, 15 games to go. We're talking about positivity within the squad. We've been discussing about the players that come in to make an impact and what we need to do come the end of the season. You've mentioned 10 wins from 15, etc. Well, then let's make sure that obviously we go into it supporting the boys and obviously make sure that we do not slip up.
Retro?
Yeah. And, I feel like I've got to get it out. That Raggett, he was good.
Oh,
wow!
And he's solid. I know. It's everyone gets a bit excited about that, but he looks better. He looks better with better players around him. He does. When people don't ask too much of him. So I'm excited. I'm positive. I think 10 games to go, 15 games to go, but 10. If we win 10, we should be there or thereabouts. And yeah, Raggett could be a championship player this time next year.
And for England.
Raggett for England as well. I've heard he is the best on earth. Phil said, is Carlisle where it went in your mouth last season? Tom Snow, Phil, I can confirm that was Accrington Stanley. That wasn't Carlisle. Shania is going to be delighted that Pepe is pretty much a 4-0 written all over it. Sunday Live regular. Graham's gone for a Carlisle 0, Pompey 4. Simon said the same. Raggett to score the first. 3-0 Pompey from Cornish Pompey. Luke saying a 1-2 Pompey. Mars, Pitt, Harris, and Kamara to score. Pompey win 2-0. Sorry, I just seen a message in the chat from Retro.
That's outrageous.
We should explain. We have a private chat separate to the chat that you see. That's sort of an in-studio panel chat, which is world class, and I had to mention that. Looking forward to seeing Barn and Mike up there. Very excited to see you both. Logan said, I won't be making the trip up to Carlisle, but I'll be listening on the radio, going for a nice comfortable 0-2 Pompey with Lang and Pack to score. Looking forward to your video on Saturday, Tom. Logan, I will get it out for you as quickly as I possibly can. Dan's going for a comfortable 2-0 win, as is Matt. Joseph saying a 3-1 Pompey. Genuinely 4-0 written all over it this week from Gav Jones. Ryan said Pompey 2, Pompey 2, Pompey 0, Pompey 2, Carlisle 0, Pompey 0. Carlisle 0, Pompey 2. Moxton off the bench with the second. 5-1 from Stephen on Facebook. Peps, what we saying? Because we know, and we said this on the live sort of studio before we went in, didn't we? That it's going to be very Pompey, isn't it? If this goes pear-shaped.
Yeah, it would be. It's just got Pompey written all over it. There's 1-0
Nice.
Carlisle in the 94th. It's just got it. Everyone said it before the season started that we got to Carlisle, we could be top of the league and we'll lose 1-0. It's just so typical Pompey, but I don't want to believe that. I'm so against that.
Not after yesterday, surely.
No. I think this team just has so much confidence at the moment, and I could say all of this and we will lose 1-0, but I'm going to say it anyway. We're full of confidence. We're playing really well. We've got an attacking momentum about us when we go forward, and we just look strong going forward. And I think we concede? Probably. They lost 4-1 to Bolton a couple of weeks ago. So I'm going to go 3-1 Pompey, I think. I don't know. It's just got 1-0 Carlisle. It just does. It just screams it. It honks of it.
Not after the week we've had. This is a new dimension now with this group. It's a new era.
It is, but it's just so Pompey. There's got to be a Pompey somewhere. We've been in this league 7 years. There'll be a Pompey somewhere. We'll do it. There's got to be.
We've had a couple of Pompeys already, haven't we? Exeter, Bristol Rovers. We've got our Pompeys out the system.
Well, I'm saying 3-1 Pompey anyway. I'm still agreeing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Retro, do you not think this is a new era, a new phase, or were you laughing at how much you agree with me?
We've had our roller coasters. We've had our big blip. Pompey will give us one more scare before the end of the season. They will. But no, I think it'll be tight. Carlisle is a hard place to go. I think we'll win 2-1. I think Raggett will score a header in the 94th minute or something just to annoy me.
And then we'll be back on 4-0 Sunday Live next weekend. And Retro's going to be sat eating humble pie.
He's due 2 more goals this season. So, yeah, I'll take it at Carlisle.
Will saying a 4-0 written all over it. Lewis is going for a 5-2. James is saying 3-0. Instant blue, Pompey 3. Carlisle 1, Lane, Lang and Yengi to score. We haven't even mentioned Yengi's return. Could he be phoned straight in? I highly doubt that. Phil said, Pepe, get that room booked, son. You'll be on the score sheet too. 2-0 Pompey. Melissa's going for a 7-0. Callum Lang from Darren on Facebook saying he's a proper player. Brian, thank you very much for your kind words. Much appreciated. Brian is a Bolton fan. He's predicting Pompey to win 3-0. Kelly said, our scum was a mascot yesterday. Players are unbelievable. Not an ego in sight. Clearly, they respect one another and that's making a great team. Dill said, if we lose 1-0 in the night, if I will jump onto the train tracks at Carlisle, well, I'll be holding you back, mate. Phil said, can't see us not scoring in a match now. That's a big jump from a couple of weeks ago. Best defensive record in the league, 1-3 Pompey. Pepe, it's been a pleasure.
It's been an experience the last hour, Tom. It's the last time I'm ever saying to someone, come and watch the stream. I've just had it's just been endless. Can we go on a third date? Yeah. Let's go. Can we just end this now? I want to go to bed.
Well, that was I did try and say goodbye then, and you kind of went there. So
I don't know anymore. It's just every time I look at the comments, someone's mentioning my name. Everyone loves it.
He's the man, mate. You're just you are him. He is him. Reese boy, pleasure.
Honestly, if Pepe's not chatting up someone, he's starting on the Northampton fans in the Milton end, isn't he? It has been a pleasure. It's really nice to be back on here. I know I missed obviously the game yesterday, but always love catching up with you lads and seeing loads of fans each game. But yeah, I'm also going for 3-1 Pompey, by the way. Valley Lane, Lang to get to, and Sean Maguire to get consolation for Carlisle. But yeah, I hope it's a safe trip to everybody going up, and I look forward to seeing you all soon.
Retro, another fantastic 4-0 Sunday Live. Thank you for being with us.
Oh no, thank you for having me. Sorry I was late.
It's okay. He wasn't late. He squeezed us into his busy schedule. We're going to take it like that. Well, that is it. Thank you very much indeed to all of you for joining with us. Our hour is up. You've been an absolutely fantastic bunch of a panel. Our thanks to Jakey Boy as well. Thanks to you at home for watching. Would you believe it? Hold the front page. Hold the back page. Do not scratch your eyes. Pompey are potentially 15 games from the championship. Play up, Pompey. Bye from us.